Hello, just wanted to check in with you while I'm working on my homework. As you can see, it's not a worksheet or anything with a formula, as it would probably be in high school. I am working on a piece of art. I'm sewing a project for our wearable art assignment, and it's going pretty good. It's kind of hard to stay motivated outside of class with something like this because, I've never really gotten proper experience with, art classes and art homework. I'm not exactly used to that in high school. And so I know how long it would take me to do a worksheet or a essay, maybe. But something like this, it's really unpredictable, especially when you don't exactly know what it will end up by the end. And so kind of what my goal is to keep working on it and keep building it, making it more final. But at any stage, really, it could be finished. And so, yeah, it's lots of fun. The interesting thing about the process for this project is that I started out with a very different idea, and I wanted to make a bag based on the idea of a pine cone. And so I really liked all the, basically infinite flaps on the pine cone, or is it scales? I'm not sure. And so, as I've talked about in my other video, I decided to use that concept for a bag. And I tried some prototypes, and I was trying to be very heady about it, and I was making, these like paper prototype things with spirals that were going around an existing bag, and it just wasn't working. I couldn't quite motivate myself, and I felt lost and like I couldn't do it. And then I thought about, if I wasn't at art school, how would I do this? Phone keeps slipping. And I would say, okay, this is an arts and crafts thing, something fun. And so, I'm just gonna grab my scissors from my really cool tool kit. And, I am doing something that could be fun. And so if I were to do it for myself, outside of school, I would probably approach it by just taking some fabric and starting to sew one thing at a time. And so I basically just tried to explore the pattern that I was trying to make. And I started making these triangles. I'll show you in a second. Just want to secure this knot. So I started making all these, triangles, and I started noticing that, the pattern they were making, just by virtue of putting them together and then layering the next layer on top in a specific way, just the way I observed in pine cones, rather than thinking about it in a really heady way and making some kind of extravagant, plan, I realized that just this repeatable process creates a really amazing pattern and structure. And so I continued with that, and then I encountered the next problem, which was, or you could say opportunity, which was that I wasn't sure how to actually turn them into pockets. And once I did turn them into pockets, I realized that it would become, very rigid. And so I wanted it to maybe expand or be able to be larger or smaller. And so I realized, okay, well, they can only be secured as pockets if there's something large enough behind them in the layer below, where you can sew it right on. So that was kind of the idea. So I started making all these flaps where, this one was behind this one, which is longer. And then I started making some more loose flaps. As you can see here, these ones are quite loose, and it creates this spiraling effect, and it can spiral around the body because it's supposed to be a piece of wearable art. So I realized, and with the help of my teacher and some friends, that I don't have to make them all rigid pockets just because I thought it would be a bag in the beginning. So now I'm at the place where I'm just deciding which ones should be pockets. And I know that these larger ones, which you can see here, will be definitely pockets. And just because I want there to be space for some large things, just in case, shopping, and also I wanted those larger pockets to be by the hips, so starting like here and then wrapping up around the body, and the pockets get smaller and smaller, maybe wrap around the neck. But I didn't know any of that when I was starting out, and so if I had paced myself the way I had in high school, where, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna work on it for 15 minutes, I'm gonna stitch, one aspect of it, then the next day I'm gonna do this or that, it's really impossible to know exactly what comes next, which I think is part of the assignment. You never really know what's going to emerge and what idea you're gonna have, and part of the magic is that you come to class, like I did yesterday, with whatever you have, whether you have something, or it's in your head, or it's online, or you just have materials, or you don't know what to do. You come to class and you figure it out. You talk with other people, you watch their process, you see that actually, other people are also, still not sure what they want to do, and they're just kind of going for it. Or you realize that maybe your original little idea you had in your head, which you thought was stupid, is actually good, and you should try it. And so I think that's what makes this art experience so amazing, is that it's really a process of self-discovery and expression, and ideally it shouldn't be stressful to an extent. Healthy stress is good. I don't think I'd be doing this if I wasn't a little bit worried about not finishing it. But, there's something really cool about that aspect of all this. And also, I really appreciate the fact that my assignments are actually something that ordinarily I would do for fun or for therapeutic purposes, so to speak, where, I'm doing something a little bit mindless and definitely creative, and I'm working with my hands. Not to say there isn't something awesome about, just thinking or writing and all that, which I have to do in literature and art history, but I think that there's something amazing about this kind of thing, and I wish that I had had more of that in school, maybe, and certainly in, middle school and elementary school. I know that art is sometimes really taken super seriously by teachers, and oftentimes they can be the strictest of all your teachers, as I had in my 6th grade art class. I won't mention the name of the teacher, although she's no longer at the school. But it was just strangely stressful, and, in my opinion, for no reason whatsoever. Because, especially when you're a child, you shouldn't feel like this is a stressful thing. It should be self-expressive. So that's my opinion, at least. Hang on, I'm just making sure of something. So anyway, sorry to take you on this rambling talk, but I just think it's interesting to think about all this. let me know, did any of you experience any fun educational opportunities? It doesn't have to be artistic or creative. And yeah, maybe I should actually show you what I'm doing. I am sewing right here, and as you can see, this is now a pocket. And so ideally each of these will be a pocket, and it goes on and on. So thank you so much for watching. I'm glad I can update you all on this project. I don't know how exciting it is for you, but please let me know what you think I should show you next. Obviously lots of things going on. Don't always have time to film it or photograph it, but I love sharing all this with you, and thank you so much for watching, leaving such amazing comments. So talk to you next time. Bye. Stay cozy.